Hello, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Schwa Mill, where every single Saturday at this time we help you craft your accent to sound more natural in American English pronunciation. My name is Jeff, and today we're going to be taking a look again at your pronunciation files that you submit, and I kind of just want to walk you through the process for that, what you can do. If you go to our Google Doc, which I will post also in the chat, but you should be able to find the video description as well, as well as previous posts and things, which you can again see here. I just put it in the chat. You go there, and what you are going to see, give me a second and I will share my screen so we can take a look at this. Okay, so what you're going to see in the chat is this document, link to this document. In this document, up at the top, you're going to see it's going to give you some directions to a site called vocaroo.com. When you go to vocaroo.com, it's going to look something like this. You're going to see a big fat record button. You're going to click that. Hello, hello, hello. You'll end it. You get a link that says save and share. You take that link, you put it into our document right here. Just copy and paste it, and you're good to go. We'll be able to hear you now and give you suggestions for how you sound in American English. Of course, if you have any questions about that process, you can always let us know. We'll be happy to try to help you out as best we can. I am not on the microphone. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. That's the one I want. Yeah. Much, much better. All right. Let's take a look and see who is joining me today. Edward is here, or will be here soon if he's not here already. So excited to see you when you're here, Ed. Emmanuel is here. Good to see you again. Shok is here. Hello to Shok. Excited to hear what she has for us. Oh, look who's here. Ramez is here. Oh, hey. How you doing? Good to see you, Rameza, as well. Okay, so again, today we're going to be taking a look at your pronunciation files that you guys send us. If you have questions about anything English as well, we'll be happy to do our best in trying to answer them. And not a ton of files today, so we should be able to get through everyone as quick as possible. Okay. Emmanuel says, love the hat. This whole thing. You like that? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Hello also to, this is quite the name, Rocco Rivello. I butchered that so bad, and I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for being with us from Madagascar. I appreciate that. Great to have you. If you have questions about American English, let us know. Also, be sure again to use our document if you'd like us to listen to you and give some suggestions for your American English. Edward's trying to be friendly and saying hi to some people. Be sure to be friendly to Edward. All right, I'm trying to think, is there other things that you need to be aware of? Oh, yes, in fact, there are. Coming up this week, we have the Accent Arena on March 30th. Actually, I just found out I'll be able to put that on YouTube, so we'll be able to stream to my channel and also to Marielle. If you're not familiar with Marielle, she's another channel on YouTube who does some pronunciation things. Take a quick moment to say hello to Marielle here.
Ciao, hola, hello. I'm Marielle from Marielle Accent Coaching, and in this video, I'm going to show you something that will give your speech more rhythm. Stay relaxed. The most common mistake is to have the tongue too low when you say E.
Yes, thanks to Rumeza stopping by. Enjoy your studying. Yes, so again, March 30th, what is going to be happening? We are challenging each other. We are both American accent coaches, but we're going to try learning a new pronunciation using our own techniques that we use with students. We're going to be applying them to learning Portuguese. So we're going to see who can sound better in Brazilian Portuguese after only 30 minutes. So again, that'll be on March 30th, be on Facebook, it'll be on YouTube, and also on her Instagram or YouTube as well. Okay. Yes. And as Emmanuel says, place your bets. Yes. Get those bets in. We're going to try to win. And you guys can also join us. Again, it'll be live stream, so you can comment in the chat who you think is doing better at different stages. But this is the time for bets. Other things going on? I don't think so. You guys can let me know what's happening with you. But in the meantime, I think it's time that we actually start listening to your pronunciation files, the whole reason why you're here, so we can start giving you suggestions for how you can sound a little bit more natural in American English pronunciation. Let's go. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? Before we get to your pronunciation files, we have a great question here from Edward. Are bets and stakes synonyms? Not exactly. Bets are usually in this reference like money that you put down, assuming that someone is going to do something or not do something. Like I bet you're going to win or I bet you're going to lose, you know. And like if I say I bet $20 you'll lose, that means that if you lose, I win $20. You pay me $20. Stakes are a little bit different. Stakes are in reference to kind of like the implications of something. So, for instance, if I lose my job, what's at stake? Well, maybe I won't be able to pay my mortgage. Maybe I won't be able to buy groceries or food. Things like that. So those would be stakes. The implications of of a decision or something that happens. Whereas bets are, again, you're making a guess about what you think is going to happen, and usually putting money or something on it. So kind of similar, but not exactly. You can't really use one in place of the other. What you can do is say, for instance, if I bet $20 or something, that means I have $20 at stake. If that makes sense, because you could lose $20. Hopefully that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, you could let me know. You'd be like, Jeff, that was a horrible example. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna share my screen, share my sound. Let's get into your guys' files. I'm excited. Hope you are. So we are every single Saturday. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, not too many files. Plenty of time if you want to submit some audio. First one's a fast one. 4 seconds long. Take a listen.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Aw, that's cute.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Okay, Marco's hitting us again with the idioms and things. Timestamps. I'm going to try to remember. We're at 7:30. Oh, 7:30. Okay. And Marco's journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's how I would say that. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I would read that. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And what I would say here, I think actually the way you read it was very clear. But I meant this one. Okay. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Let's play it one more time.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So what I'm going to really suggest here, I think, is
a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I'm going to recommend. I think that everything you're saying is pretty clear. I don't have a whole lot of comments on vowels and consonants.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Maybe miles at the end for the dark L's sound at the end there. You can maybe get a little more breath through. That would be one very minor tweak. So instead of miles, more miles, dropping the lower jaw more and keeping the tip of the tongue down. Experimenting with that just to try to get a little more airflow through. But that's a very minor thing. I think the bigger thing that I would recommend here is cutting off a stress.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Because you're stressing journey, miles, and step. You can maybe make an argument there's actually a 4 stress as well, but those are the 3 main ones I'm hearing.
A journey of 1,000 miles.
A journey of 1,000 miles. So those are the 2 stresses right there.
Begins with a single step.
Begins with a single step. Begins with. Are you stressing single step?
With a single step.
Single step. You're stressing step. Okay. Let's cut off some of these stresses. Maybe let's just stress journey. Like a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Okay. So that's, just notice how by making that adjustment, I'm able to flow a little bit more. Compare the difference.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. something like that. Just compare the differences in terms of stress. I feel like mine is going to be able to just kind of flow a little bit more than yours, which kind of feels a little bit more broken off. The other thing I would recommend, so you have at least 2 thought groups here.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
And you're kind of keeping everything at like the same pitch range. So something else that we could do is we could also not remove. What we could do is we could also go at a lower pitch with one of these thought groups. So if we went at a lower pitch for the second thought group,
A journey of 1,000 miles
a journey of 1,000 miles
begins with a single step.
begins with a single step. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So you can hear now what I'm doing is I went lower on that second half. So it just adds more contrast. And this is, again, American English wants contrast. Most likely, if you are watching this, there is a very good chance that you are not using as many pitches in American English as you could. Okay. We could do the opposite, too. We could start lower and then go higher in the second half. Come on.
A journey of 1,000 miles
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You know, something like that. Now I'm switching it. I'm starting lower and then going higher. Personally, I like starting high and then going low, but you could, experiment, have fun with it. And Edward makes an argument here. Edward says, I think single should be stressed, not step. Begins with a single step. I understand that. I think this is something I see a lot with students because they're like, they see these adjectives in front of nouns and they're like, oh, this is a very important adjective, so I should probably stress it. And I get that desire. The way I see it is that if it weren't important, it wouldn't be there at all. So just because an adjective is there and it's an important adjective doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get stressed. I think still I would keep the stress on step. I would keep it on step because begins with a single step. Begins with a single step. I like that second one more. I like step more. So I personally, that's where I would put it. I understand that single is important, but I think still in terms of rhythm, I would personally expect a step to get the stress. If anyone has any questions about that, be sure to let me know. But that again is our first major file. Thanks to Marcos for sending us that. Appreciate it. Always excited to see what idioms you pick. Okay, and let me know, guys, if you guys, first of all, my first question for you is, did you use American English this week? And if you did, what are some collocations or expressions that you used this week? Or maybe that you heard and that you want to start using? Dude, any that you heard or you're like, oh, wow, I want to start using that. Let me know because I'd be very curious to see that. Okay. Manual makes the notes. Same with new phone. Generally, you stress the noun. Yes, 100%. Normally, if you have an adjective and a noun, the typical stress again would be the noun, unless it's a compound noun. Okay, so I bought a new phone. I bought a new phone. I bought a new phone. Stressing phone. Mr. Go Big Girl Home is here. Ask this question. What does going off of what you said mean? The phrase like going off of what you said, that phrase, I want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. Going off of something means like based on something or assuming that what you said is true or using that as a starting point. So to give you an example, someone is making an argument and they say, like I bought a new car, but it was too expensive. Okay. So then if your friend tells you that, so then you couldn't just say something, okay, going off of what you said, then why did you buy the car if it was so expensive? I bought a new car, but it was so expensive. And you're like, okay, going off of what you said, why did you buy the car then? There's no reason to. Okay. That's not the best example, but that's again what it means, like based on something. It's something you said. Great question there. All right, let's take a listen to another file, shall we? Shall we? want that because I want to back up my things. All right. This 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. We did one file. Why do I still see 4? Oh, did I upload one?
Whatever challenge you're facing right now,
Oh,
I
Shoka's
get
angry.
everybody in the room has a challenge. So when you have the privilege of platform, understand that somebody in the audience needs inspiration, even it's not the topic you're talking about. You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact. Don't let it be about you.
Hey, I like that ending. Don't let it be about you. Okay. This is from Toastmasters. Shok, are you in Toastmasters? Do you do Toastmasters? If you're not familiar, Toastmasters is a group that practices public speaking. If you're trying to improve your public speaking abilities and also your American English, see if there's a Toastmasters group near you. Okay. Let's first of all find Shok's file again. Really, first of all, found my mouse. Was this one?
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
Okay, whatever challenge you're facing right now. It sounds a little punchy.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now, which can lend this some authority and things like that. So I'm not necessarily against it, but it does limit your ability to flow a little bit.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now. And part of the reason this is kind of similar to what we saw with Marcos is that we just have so many stresses. So if you talk and you feel like you're kind of getting this sort of punchy sound with your own speech, one of the reasons for that is because you have a lot of stresses in your sentence.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
So for instance, if I took off the stress on challenge, and if I took off the stress on facing, and if I took off the stresses on right now, then that would technically be able to flow a little bit more. Like if I just stressed whatever challenge you're facing right now, whatever challenge you're facing right now, versus this.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
And you can hear the difference in rhythm there. Okay. So again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a critique. It's just consider, what's best in what situation. So just kind of something to consider for that. Besides that first part,
whatever challenge you're facing right now, I get it.
I get it. Like whatever challenge you're facing right now, I get it. So like you have a lot of different options here. Again, we talked about this with Marcos's the previous files that when you're switching thought groups, you want to play around with the pitches a bit, either going higher or going lower. In this case, Shok went higher.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Right now, I get it. Another option too, and I don't know, Shok, maybe you were shadowing this. So if you were shadowing, you can let me know. Let's assume that you were not shadowing, you just saw the text and you're reading.
Right now, I get it.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now, I get it. So I think we could have increased the contrast even a little bit more between that first thought group and that second. We could have started lower, like whatever challenge you're facing right now, I get it. Or you could do the opposite. Whatever challenge you're facing right now, I get it. It just, those plays with pitch can really add some extra emphasis and things to what you're saying.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now, I get it.
I do like that there's a lot of breath coming through. Okay, I think it sounds very open, which I appreciate. I think it sounds, I'm pretty good in that aspect. Some other things going on here.
Everybody in the room has a challenge.
Everybody in the room has a challenge. Everybody in the room has a challenge.
Everybody in the room has a challenge.
So you have two stresses. Everybody in the room has a challenge. So you have two stresses. You're stressing room and you're stressing challenge. And I think that's fine. I think, though, that oftentimes, like if you hear a native speaker say this, I don't think you're going to hear that stress on challenge again. Because you've already stressed challenge in the first part. So we already know that you're talking about challenge. So I personally would not have expected challenge to be stressed again.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
Or like you stressed whatever, but whatever challenge. So challenge is not a new concept when we repeat it. So I think that makes it less likely to be stressed again.
I get it. Everybody in the room has a challenge.
because it just that kind of takes some of your energy away. Everybody in the room has a challenge versus everybody in the room has a challenge. Like, come consider, like, whatever challenge you're facing right now, I get it. Everybody in the room has a challenge, versus everybody in the room has a challenge. Like that second one just kind of breaks up things and it just doesn't let you flow as much. So I think the acoustics of it aren't as pleasant. So again, I probably wouldn't stress challenge that second time. I'm going to keep moving here.
Everybody in the room has a challenge. So when you have the privilege of platform, understand.
Ooh, that last part, I'll be honest, I did not fully get. Like, if you were just talking to me in a conversation and you said that, I would need you to repeat yourself because I wouldn't have understood. Okay. Okay, and Shok makes a mention that she is shadowing. Okay, and it's always hard, when you're shadowing. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Okay, because maybe this is what they actually did. I'm just telling you what sounds to me different than what I personally would have done. But it could be that the native speaker actually did these things. However, it could also be that the native speaker did not actually do these things and we're adding our own linguistic tendencies to it. So go back to the shadowing and you can see, is what I'm saying correct or is what I'm saying completely off from what your model was doing? And that's okay. But I don't have the model to compare.
Everybody in the room has a challenge. So when you have the privilege of platform, understand.
Yeah, that's a really tricky part. I'm really not getting that.
When you have the privilege of platform, understand.
I'm wondering, it could have been a mic thing too, because I heard something going on with the mic. But I'm not hearing privilege of the platform. The privilege of the platform.
When you have the privilege of platform, understand.
Privilege, understand. Just that middle section there of the platform, not getting. The other thing I'm going to recommend here is pitch again, because we're a little bit in the same pitch as the previous talk group.
Everybody in the room has a challenge. So when you have the privilege,
everybody in the room has a challenge. So when you're staying at the same pitch, something to you change that pitch, either go higher or lower. Everybody in the room has a challenge. So when you have the privilege of the platform, so something right there. Notice that I went higher. Okay, everyone in the room has a challenge. So when you have the privilege of the platform, so again, just kind of adding a little bit more contrast there, I think would be helpful.
Room has a challenge. So when you have the privilege of platform, understand that somebody in the audience needs respiration.
That somebody in the audience understands somebody in the audience.
That somebody in the audience needs.
Audience sounds a little bit closed off.
That somebody in the audience needs.
Audience, like it just feels like our placement started to rise there. Someone in the audience versus someone in the audience. Someone in the audience. It's a little bit more open on the ah sound there. This is your ah sound, like in law or saw. So you can open your mouth slightly wider. Front of your tongue is down. Back of your tongue's a little high. Ah, audience. Okay. And also a little bit more open on the e sound as well. Audience. So audience, more audience.
Somebody in the audience needs respiration.
When you have the privilege of power, understand that somebody in the audience needs your inspiration. Somebody in the audience needs your inspiration. This would be curious. I'd be really interested to know in the shadowing what words they stressed, just to make sure we're stressing the same things.
Somebody in the audience needs respiration.
Needs your inspiration. I want to hear that needs your inspiration part again.
Somebody in the audience needs respiration.
Again, I don't know if this is a mic thing, but that needs your part sounds a little off.
Somebody in the audience needs respiration.
Needs your versus like needs your. So a lot of times when you see that Z sound in needs followed by a Y sound, it becomes like a J, like needs your inspiration. Okay. It doesn't always do that, but just one option in terms of linking. You could also keep the Z, so like needs your inspiration. You could do that too.
In the audience needs respiration.
Needs your that first syllable of inspiration. I would like to be a little clear on that short I. Inspiration.
If it's not the topic you're talking about.
If it's not the topic you're talking about. Even if it's not the topic you're talking about. Let's hear that part again.
It's not topic if the audience needs respiration. If it's not topic.
Even it's not. We're really reducing even.
respiration. Even it's not top.
Even where's the if?
Is respiration. Even it's not top.
Even if it's not, I still think we need that. Even if it's not, I need that if a little bit more. A little bit more of that short I sound on if. Even if it's not
Topic you're talking about. Respiration. Even it's not topic you're talking about.
Even if it's not the topic. You're stressing a lot of sections here. You're stressing not, you're stressing topic and talking.
Topic you're talking about. Respiration. Even it's not topic you're talking about.
Even if it's not the topic you're talking about. So there's a lot of heavy stresses there, which again certainly could be from the native speaker, but that you're shadowing. But it could also be that we're adding some extra stresses. For instance, it's very common to stress even in this situation. Need your inspiration, even if it's not the topic you're talking about. Need your inspiration, even if it's not the topic you're talking about. It's like, so in that case, I'm stressing even and talking. Another option too, though, even if it's not the topic you're talking about, you could just stress topic, even if it's not the topic you're talking about. Even if it's not the topic you're talking about. So like either stressing not or topic or talking, but not all three would be my big recommendation there.
Not topic you're talking about. You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience to.
Okay. One thing here.
You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience.
A little jumpy on whenever.
You have the opportunity whenever you.
And some of that again, I think, is the mic. I'll be honest, Chuck, the mic quality on this one's, I think, having an impact on some of the sounds I'm hearing.
Whenever you have
the opportunity. I want to hear the pitch again compared to the previous talk group.
Even it's not topic you're talking about. You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact. Don't let it be about you.
Let's actually just talk about that last part, then we'll move backwards. Don't let it be about you. I like that part a lot. Hello also to Lucen.
Don't let it be about you.
Don't let it. You can imagine someone clapping like, "Don't let it be about you," like something like that. So very emphatic. I like the high pitch on don't. Don't let it be about you, and then finishing with that stress on you. I think that last part sounds really good. Conveys a lot of energy, conveys a lot of emotion. Want to back up a little bit?
You have the opportunity.
Want to hear the previous part?
It's not topic you're talking about. You have the opportunity when.
So I do like that shift. So like talking about. So we just go to that low pitch, and then we move up. Talking about. You have the opportunity. So then we rise and go higher. Good. Talking about. You have the opportunity whenever. Good.
Whenever you're in front. Talking about. You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience.
Whenever you're in front of an audience, you have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience. Okay, maybe just a little high on whenever, slightly, but that could have been again the microphone.
You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience to make.
I would lower the pitch on audience. Whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact.
You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact.
Yeah, to make an impact. Okay, but maybe they did stress impact. Whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact. Whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact. You can hear the difference there in pitches, and you can decide which one matched the shadowing that you were doing better.
Don't let it be about you.
I like the you at the end again. I like the amount of airflow you're getting through on that. Okay. So in general, yeah, some pitch related things, some stress related things that will have an impact on the rhythm. I'm going to play back the audio and just kind of pause it at moments to show you how I would say some sections. And again, not to say that the way I'm saying it is the way that they did in your shadowing file, or that there aren't any other alternatives. This is just how I would do it right now.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
Whatever challenge you're facing right now.
I get it.
I get it.
Everybody in the room has a challenge.
Everybody in the room has a challenge.
So when you have the privilege of platform, understand.
So when you have the privilege of the platform, understand.
That somebody in the audience needs inspiration.
That somebody in the audience needs your inspiration. Give me a moment just to get to the second part.
Even if it's not the topic you're talking about.
Even if it's not the topic you're talking about.
You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact.
You have the opportunity whenever you're in front of an audience to make an impact.
Don't let it be about you.
Don't let it be about you. Just personally there. Okay. Thanks to Shok for sending that file. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. We have a question. Is coalescent assimilation related to age or geographical location? I don't know what coalescent assimilation means, Edward. I don't know what that means. Give me a definition. I'll be more than happy to tell you my thoughts. Also, Lucen saying sterling work. Oh, man. That's some British English there. Thank you, sir. My name's Lucen Charles, student at Upper Normal School. Port-au-Prince from Haiti. Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate that. And again, you can look at earlier in the stream for notes on how to send your own pronunciation files in case you are curious in getting your pronunciation looked at. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Let's do that again. So again, we have our document, which you can find earlier in the chat, right at the beginning of the stream. It talks about how to send in your pronunciation files. That's something you're interested in. Okay. And hopefully everyone here that's watching, whether you're watching live with me right now, thanks for being here, or you're watching me in the future, hello from the past. We use this same document every single live stream. So every single Saturday at this time. So you can send us your files and we'll be happy to listen to them. All right, let's keep this train rolling, guys. What say ye? I have 2 more original files. That means there's still time to get yours in. Otherwise, we'll end the stream early. We got a long one. 2. Everyone's sending in long files today. All right. I accept. Let's see what our next one is.
So yesterday they sent me an email, and it seems I have to go to the office next week, as my manager is coming over. My travel is not very complicated, but my daily train ticket is quite expensive. I just got to be honest with you. I prefer much more working from home, but unfortunately, there's some days when I have to be in the office.
See, Sycamore, this is actually, unless you're shadowing or reading something, but this is why you got to be your own boss. This is my house. This is where I work. Isn't it wonderful? Go to the dark side and do your own thing, people. You must. So much better. Come to the dark side. Yes. Be your own boss. I know it's easier said than done. All right, let's give some thoughts to this. Actually, just a real quick question before we address that. Could you please try to explain to me that phrase? Don't let it be about you. Yeah, for sure. Happy to. So, for instance, let's use the example of my YouTube channel. So, my YouTube channel is about American English pronunciation. Surprise! If you came for something else, sorry to disappoint you. So when I'm making content, when I'm making videos, I have to make sure that my videos are not about things that I'm necessarily interested in or things that I think would be good. No, I need to really consider my audience. I need to think about who's going to watch the videos and how can I get the most benefit from it. So for instance, when I'm here at the Schwa Mill, I'm not doing this for me. If I were doing it for me, I'd go take a nap because I'm tired. But no, I want to help people, so it's trying to do things I'm making it about the viewer. I'm making it about people, when I'm doing things, for instance, with different angles and trying to mix things up and putting myself in weird positions like, whoa, what's happening? I'm trying to make a more engaging experience for you guys that are watching. So when we say the phrase, for instance, don't let it be about you, when you're doing an action, don't think about how it affects you. Think about how it affects other people. How can other people get the most benefit from the things that you're doing? Hopefully that makes the most sense. And Emmanuel makes a great note. Thank you, Emmanuel. He's the real MVP over here. Emmanuel says timestamps, so I'm going to add some timestamps. How do we get from 1455 to 34? That is wild. 34. I'll just put 35. Thank you, Emmanuel. I appreciate you. Okay. And of course, if you guys have some other questions and things, be sure to let me know. But let's go back to our fire. Oh, that was not the button I wanted to press. Is this the one I wanted to press? I could do that one. But let's do this view. Hey, how you guys doing? Now let's listen to that file again. I forget which one. It's Russian roulette over here.
It'd be on.
No, that was the wrong one.
So yesterday they sent me an email, and it seems I have to go to the office next week, as my manager is coming over. My travel is not very complicated, but my daily train ticket is quite expensive. I just got to be honest with you. I prefer much more working from home, but unfortunately, there's some days when I have to be in the office.
Okay. No, I do think we have some opportunities again to play with some pitch. I think the general vowels and consonants and things are okay, but let's double check. So let's double check. See what we got.
So yesterday they sent me an email.
Yesterday sent me an email. So yesterday sent me an email. So yesterday sent me an email. So yesterday sent me an email.
So yesterday they sent me an email.
It just feels like our placement's really high. You know, I would experiment saying that phrase like 5 times, each time at a lower placement. Because right now it feels like you're really up here. So yesterday they sent me an email. 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 You know, like, so you can hear the difference from where I started versus where I ended. So just trying to lower that placement a little bit can have a pretty dramatic impact on your sound.
So yesterday they sent me an email.
You know, because I would really take this lower, because you're not. Another consideration too is that, let's imagine the context here. You are not happy about this situation. You are sad. You want to work from home. Your boss is saying, no, you cannot work from home. So now you're upset. You know, or you're the person you're talking to. You're trying to convey your frustration. So to do that, I think if you use the tone, for instance, like, so yesterday I sent me an email. Like, if my wife came home and like sat down on the couch and I say, honey, what's wrong? And she's like, well, yesterday they sent me an email. Like, if anyone starts off a conversation like that, I already know that this is not going to be a happy situation, or not an ideal situation. Okay. Also, makes a note that she is not in Toastmasters. She just is so theatrical. So yesterday they sent me an email. So like I would consider some of those lower pitches there, because I think starting off with a lower pitch in that situation just conveys a little bit more of that frustration, personally. Besides that,
So yesterday they sent me an email.
I like the intonation on email, like email, but I would just again lower the pitch. So yesterday they sent me an email, but I do like the rising intonation.
And it seems I have to go to the office next week.
It seems I have to go to the office next week. So, okay, so you're stressing next week. And this is something I see a lot of students doing, where they take adverbs of time, and what they do with the adverbs is they stress them. Because what's happening here is you're putting the stress on next week. Listen to that again.
The office next week.
Office next week. Office next week. But I think something that we see a lot in American English is, instead of stressing adverbs of time, we stress the content words that come before them. So I would stress office. Okay. Seems that be at the office next week. Be at the office next week. Or go to the office next week.
The office next week.
Go to the office next week versus go to the office next week. So you have to go to the office next week. So next week I would not stress, personally. This also addresses, to a degree, Edward's question is, to be at the office also possible? Can you say be at the office? And it seems I have to be at the office next week. Yeah, I think that's fine. I feel like go to the office is probably a little more common, but you can say be at the office. That's fine. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Other things. So don't stress next week.
So yesterday they sent me an email, and it seems I have to go to the office next week, As my manager is coming over.
As my manager is coming over. I would contract is.
As my manager is coming over.
As my manager is coming over. As my there's nothing wrong with using is, but as my manager is coming over. But I just think in general American English, when you can use the contraction, use the contraction. As my manager is coming over. And I also feel like in speech, instead of using as, I think like since is probably the more common word. I have to go to office next week since my manager's coming over. Or even cuz. I have to go to the office next week because my manager's coming over. Stuff like that. As is not wrong, but I just feel like those might be more frequent choices. I do like the lower pitches.
As my manager is coming over.
As my manager is coming over. You probably actually don't even have to go as high on manager. Like I have to go to the office next week because my manager's coming over. Like something like that. You could have gone a little lower in pitch on that.
Coming over. My travel is not very complicated.
Again, more of a vocab thing. I've never used. Well, I won't say never, but I can't remember the last time I used like travel in this sort of way. Like my travel's not very complicated. Like I probably, if I were looking for ways to phrase that, I probably would have said like it's not hard to get to, or the commute's not bad. That's probably like the more kind of, yeah, like the commute's not bad. Something like that.
My travel is not very complicated.
My travel's not very complicated. My travel's not very complicated. So you kind of have two stresses there.
My travel is not very complicated.
My travel is not very complicated. So let's imagine I'm using your words and trying to say them naturally. So my travel is not very complicated. So like I would put the heavier stress on travel and not as much on complicated. My travel is not very complicated. So by doing that, you're preparing your listener for contrast. They're waiting for the but. My travel's not complicated, but so like by using that sort of intonation pattern, that's going to better prepare your listener for what's about to happen for that contrast. Okay.
But travel is not very complicated. But my daily train ticket is quite expensive.
My daily, but I probably just said the train ticket honestly, but the train or even just the train, but the train's pretty expensive or quite expensive is fine. I probably would have used pretty, but the train's pretty expensive. But let's use your wording.
My daily train ticket is quite expensive.
My daily train ticket is quite expensive. Daily train ticket is quite expensive. My travel's not very complicated, but daily train ticket's quite expensive. I may would have just stressed ticket. I don't know if I would have stressed expensive. Daily train ticket's quite expensive. Daily train ticket's quite expensive. Yeah, I probably would have just stressed ticket myself. But that's not to say that stressing expensive is wrong. Other things there.
My travel is not very complicated.
Here we go.
My travel is not very complicated.
A little thing too, just very minor. Again, you could contract travels. So my travel is not very complicated, but if you keep the is, fine. Just make sure you're using a short I sound because right now I feel like I'm hearing ease. Like my travel ease versus my travels or my travel is.
As my manager is coming over. My travel is not
My travel is versus my travel is
very complicated.
Complicated.
But my daily train ticket is quite expensive.
Daily train ticket. The other thing there is that you're kind of giving me the same pitch. Daily train ticket versus daily train ticket. Daily train ticket. Daily train ticket. Train is your you have a kind of a 3-word group there, but train ticket is a compound noun. Train ticket. Train ticket. So train needs to be at a slightly higher pitch than ticket. Daily train ticket. Daily train ticket. It's not daily train ticket because everything's at the same pitch. Daily train ticket. It's like train ticket. You want to be going down, down, down. Okay, train ticket. Just a note there.
Expensive.
Going to move on from there. Let's take a look at the second half of this. I see some things in the comments I will be addressing soon.
I just got to be honest with you.
Let's gotta be honest with you. Just gotta be honest with you. Let's gotta be honest with you. Again, we had an opportunity here for lower pitches on the reduced part.
Expensive. I just got to be honest with you.
I just gotta be honest with you. I would have been a little lower in pitch on with you. I just gotta be honest with you. Let's gotta be honest with you.
I just got to be honest with you.
I'm gonna hear the honest with you part.
I just got to be honest with you. I just got to be honest with you.
Honest. I think again with that. So honest again, short I sound on the second syllable. Ist, honest. So I would have liked a little bit more short I on honest. Honest with you. It's like honest with. So again, honest with you.
I just got to be honest with you.
You're also a little tense there on the you. You, yo. Hear a difference between you and yo. So mine is just at a lower placement. I'm also allowing more breath to come through on the ooh sound there. It's just a note.
I just got to be honest with you. I prefer much more working from home.
I much prefer working. If you wanted much here, you could put it before prefer. If I were going to do that, that's where I would have placed
I
it.
prefer much more working from home.
I much prefer working from home. It's got to be honest with you. I much prefer working from home. I understand the rising intonation at home.
I prefer much more working from home.
That's fine. Rising intonation there is fine. But I personally probably use falling intonation because it just adds a sense of finality and makes it kind of sound a little firmer. Okay, it's got to be honest with you. I much prefer working from home. Much prefer it. Just a note there.
But unfortunately, there's some days when I have to be in the office.
I thought that actually sounded pretty good. I'll just say for office, a little more open. Whether you say office or office in ah sound or in aw sound, fine. But whatever one you use, just make sure it's a little bit more open and more breath coming through. So it's not office, more office or office.
Fortunately, there's some days when I have to be in the office.
Be in the office versus be in the office when I have to be in the office. So those are going to be my main comments there. I'll play that again from the beginning, and I'll show you how I would say it, and you can compare it to the original.
So yesterday they sent me an email. And it seems I have to go to the office next week.
It seems I have to go to the office next week. Yesterday they sent me an email, and it seems I have to go to the office next week.
As my manager is coming over.
Because my manager is coming over.
My travel is not very complicated.
My travel's not very complicated.
But my daily train ticket is quite expensive. I just got to be honest with you. I prefer much more working from home.
I just got to be honest with you. I prefer much more working from home.
But unfortunately, there's some days when I have to be in the office.
But unfortunately, there are some days where I have to be in the office. Just some notes there. Let me know if anything there isn't clear, but thank you so much for sending that file. We appreciate it. Okay. Shoke makes a note that she used American English this week. She said, "It's sick, bro." Oh, snap. Okay, Shoke. It's always interesting seeing the vocab people choose. I'm not a person that says sick for stuff. Or like some people say like dope. But yeah, I personally would just it's great or it's crazy or something like that. But nothing wrong with sick. I feel that fits your personality. Hello to Elchin stopping by. Good to see you. Also has a question. I want to send you my file, but I cannot paste my file. Can I send it on Telegram? You may. Just remind me that it's there. I don't want to forget. Okay, taking a look at our thing. Oh, we got an extra file. Okay, cool. So at least 1 file, 2 files, 3 files. And the only thing that's missing, we're missing your files. So if you're interested again in sending your own pronunciation file, there is still time to do it. Again, if you go to the video description or if you go to the top of the chat, you will see this link. This is a link to our Google Doc where we can hear your files and give you some suggestions. If that's cool, you can let me know. Really quick, guys, I just want to talk about some opportunities that we have. If you're getting value from everything that we are saying right now, everything that we have discussed, that is great. But, the key thing with pronunciation is that it has to be something that is regular. Because if you just study pronunciation once, once a week, your gains are going to be pretty slow. Just being honest. But fortunately, we have so many services that are here to help you with especially concepts like placement, breath, strengthening your vowel sounds, and using the correct pitches or natural pitch ranges in your own speech. And you can see that through all these different resources that we have. so you can choose the option that fits you at this moment. So, for instance, we have our YouTube videos, of course, for instance, like our shows, like the Schwa Mill here, but also our main channel, like youtube.com/FluentAmerican. Okay, and all those are free for you. But if you're trying to get just like 2 or 3 minutes of pronunciation practice every single day and getting feedback for how you're saying things, well, we have our Telegram group that is available for $5 a month. So on the Telegram group, you can see that Elchin actually just mentioned it a minute ago. I'll show you guys what that looks like soon, where basically you can send us a file and we listen to it and we give you suggestions. It's me and my assistant teacher, Lenore. And so that way you can get a little bit of pronunciation practice every single day of the week. Okay. But if you're looking for even more dedicated practice, well, we have a program called Mission English. Mission English. For $30 a month, you get access to at least 32 classes, which is wild. I mean, no other pronunciation program is like this. You're not going to find it. If you find anyone has a better deal, you let me know. But this is what Mission English looks like. So this is our schedule. At each of these times, we do a 30-minute live stream class. It's a class. You join me on screen. I'm here. You're right there with a couple other students, and we do pronunciation exercises together. So, like, we shadow native speakers. You can send in pronunciation files, and we listen to it, and we give suggestions. We play videos that we can find on YouTube. We do all kinds of different pronunciation exercises. Look at minimal pairs, look at vowels, look at consonants. We look at linking, pitch, all this stuff at quite, I think, a pretty in-depth level. And then the best part is also they're also all saved in the Facebook group too, so you can watch all previous classes. Right now, it's over 100. I imagine we're approaching the 200 lesson mark if we haven't already. But these are all the times when we meet. So, and all these are for 30 minutes across different time zones. So, for instance, the next class is going to be on Monday at 1:30 p.m. New York time. All these are New York time. We also meet at each of these times 3 times a week. So 1:30 p.m. we meet at Monday, we meet on Thursday, we meet on Friday. Maybe you need that 8 o'clock p.m. New York time where we do that on Monday, we do that on Wednesday, and we do that on Thursday. And then also starting April 1st, we have a writing class that you can join on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you're trying to get better on IELTS, trying to improve your IELTS score, maybe you need email writing, maybe you need to write reports, or maybe you're just interested in like creative writing or whatever. Well, that's what you can do on April 1st. We also have that. Okay, so again, in terms of value for the amount of content you're getting, Mission English, again, is definitely your best option. You can, again, join at fluentamerican.com, which, again, you can see in the ticker below here. So something to take advantage of. We also have a workshop coming up very soon that I want to mention a little bit later. As Emmanuel says, quite a bang for your buck. I mean, it's the best opportunity for learning American English that there is right now on the internet. If you find a better one, you let me know. I'll be happy to admit if someone else has a better product. I'll be very happy to admit that. But I don't think you're going to find it. Oh, Elchin, I see you got it on the Telegram. Cool. All right. So let's keep rolling. I'm sharing my screen, sharing my sound. It's going to be great. We're going to remember timestamps because we never forget timestamps. Absolutely never. Where are we at? We're at 53. All right. So we have last original file. Text for what we see.
Awesome if you could translate in the observer chat just for us watching the replay. But of course, hopefully you guys enjoy. It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat just for us watching the replay. But of course, hopefully you guys enjoy my translations, which I'm using some software called Making It Up. Like and subscribe for more info on Making It Up.
Okay. I'm going to imagine that you're shadowing, but I'm not 100% sure. So take everything I say with a grain of salt here, just in case it's not really appropriate to what you need. But from the beginning.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat just for us watching the replay.
It'd be awesome. Okay, and Emmanuel notes that he is shadowing. Okay, cool.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
You know, these stalkers are just so detached. And again, maybe that's how it was shadowing.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
Like, it would be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat. And that sort of rhythm to me certainly is possible in American English, but doesn't sound the most natural.
It'd be awesome if you could translate.
Like, it'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat. Like, something like that would feel a little bit more linked to me. It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat. It'll be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat. So just kind of joining the thought groups a little bit more would be my first recommendation here.
It'd be awesome if you could translate.
I think part of it is that if he could translate, because you're giving me a lot of the same pitch. If he could translate.
If he could translate.
If he could translate. It'd be awesome if you could translate. So like, especially you really need, I would say, on translate, that second syllable of translate, you want to go down on. That's actually something that we mentioned recently in a video. This might cause things to freeze for a moment. My apologies. But we have a video we made very recently. If you look at our video, very helpful for you. So this video here with the robot says, say any English word without sounding like a robot. This is a video that shows you how to say individual words while incorporating pitches and things like that. Because what we see in American English, for an American English word with 2 or more syllables, there's a stressed syllable, and then all the other syllables are not stressed. Sounds fair, right? The problem that a lot of students have is that they give almost equal weight to every single syllable. Whereas in American English, it doesn't work like that. The stressed syllable is going to have a higher pitch. It's going to be a little held longer. It's going to be held a little longer. And then the other syllables are going to go lower in pitch. And they're also going to be faster. So for instance, an example here is the word translate. Translate. Okay. So notice I'm not saying translate, because those pitches are too similar. No, it's going to be translate. Translate. See how fast the late is and see how low in pitch it is. These are keys for achieving a natural sound in American English. So for any word that has 2 or more syllables, find that stressed syllable, make sure it's popping at the higher pitch and it's a little longer, and the other syllables you want to get weaker. In this, if that's something you feel like you need some practice with, this again, if you go to my channel and you click videos, this is first video here, I would click on that and I would watch that, because it's going to give you, again, 11 minutes of practice. It looks at 2-syllable words, looks at 3-syllable words, and looks at 4-syllable words, and it looks at the most frequent. So these are 120 of the most common words in American English. So everything's going to be very practical to what you're doing. Okay. And Emmanuel says, does sound like I feel like AI. Okay, so this kind of something to consider there. Going back to our file.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
Same thing there. Translate in the observer, translate in the observer. The pitches are just too similar. And my guess is that if you went back to the shadowing file you were looking at and you listened to them, you'd probably hear a greater range of pitches being used. Okay. If you could translate in the observer chat. It would be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
Just for us watching the replay.
Just for us watching the replay. I wouldn't be surprised if, again, in the shadowing, that part there was at a higher pitch. It'd be awesome if you could translate in observer chat just for us watching the replay. Like something like that, I would not be surprised. So maybe even just going a little higher in pitch there. In terms of specific sounds,
Translate in the observer chat.
Chat, maybe a little more open on the ah sound, like in cat or bad.
Observer chat.
Yeah, observer chat versus observer chat. Observer chat, a little more open on the ah.
Just for us watching the replay.
I'm here just again.
Watching the replay. Just for us what just the observer chat. Just
Again, it sounds a little very closed off. Just versus just for us, just for us. A little more open on your schwa sound there. Just for us watching the replay.
for us watching the replay.
A lot of these sounds actually are a little closed off.
For us watching the replay.
Do that watching versus watching. Just for us watching. Sound on watching. Replay. A little bit more open on the A sound on replay. Okay, so again, I think a lot of these vowels we could open up more. It's like, it'd be awesome if he could translate in the observer chat just for us watching the replay. Okay, so a little more open up some of those vowels. Next part.
But of course, hopefully you guys enjoy my translations.
But hopefully you guys enjoy. The thing that started standing out to me is translations. Okay.
You guys enjoy my translations.
Translations. I think we're losing the A sound on translations.
Of course, hopefully you guys enjoy my translations.
Translations. Let me hear it again.
But of course, hopefully you guys enjoy my translations.
Translations. My translations. Again, I would like that A sound on translations just a little to pop off a little more because that's your stress.
Hopefully you guys enjoy my translations.
My translations. My translations. Yes, let's open up that A sound a little bit. I see Emmanuel saying here the file. Let's look at it next week if that's okay with you. We can check it in Mission English. Just so you enjoy my translations.
Which I'm using some software called Making It Up.
Okay, which I'm using some software called Making It Up.
Software called Making It Up.
I like that part. I'm using some software called Making It Up. I like that part.
Some software called Making It Up.
Okay, I think that part sounds good.
Like and subscribe for more info on Making It Up.
Let me hear that last part with the more info.
Called Making It Up. Like and subscribe for more info
On your info.
Like and subscribe for more info.
Like and subscribe for more info. Look for more info. I think again the vowels could be a little more open on info.
Like and subscribe for more info.
For more info. It feels like what's happening for info is the short eyes becoming an E sound. It's like info versus info. For more info.
Like and subscribe for more info.
For more info. Like and subscribe for more info.
Making It Up.
I'm making it up. Okay. Yeah, so that's going to be my big comments there. I'm going to play the original file again, then show how I personally would have said it. But again, it may be very different than what you hear on the shadowing, just to note. Okay.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
It'd be awesome if you could translate in the observer chat.
Just for us watching the replay.
Just for us watching the replay.
But of course, hopefully you guys enjoy my translations.
But of course, hopefully you guys enjoy my translations.
Which I'm using some software called Making It Up.
Which I'm using some software called Making It Up.
Like and subscribe for more info on Making It Up.
Like and subscribe for more info on Making It Up. So those would be my big suggestions there. Let me know if you have any questions about that, Emmanuel. But thank you for sending your file. We always appreciate that. Cool. Let's see what is next. Oh, I see we have Elchin's file and we have Cabal's file. Cool. Before we get to that, just sorry, I know that probably cut out briefly, but we have a new opportunity coming for you if you're interested. There we go. Okay. If you are interested in studying things like pitch, and again, we've talked a lot about pitch today, and we'll probably continue talking about pitch, and you're like, man, I need to study my pitches a little bit. Well, we have a workshop that's going to be happening on April 4th at 1:30 p.m. New York time. Okay. And what this workshop is going to be doing is it's going to be looking at let me rephrase. It's going to be looking at 9 of the most common pitch patterns that native speakers using. So right now I'm in the middle of researching American English. I'm listening to different native speakers and I'm trying to find common pitch patterns that they are using. Okay, obviously there will be more in American English, but if you're interested in trying to learn what are 9 of the most frequent patterns that native speakers use, and then trying to figure out, do you sound like native speakers when you use those same patterns? That's what this workshop is for. Okay. Now we have very limited space. Basically, I have 2 spots. Last time I checked, I have 2 spots available right now. If you want to join me on the live class, it's going to be a live workshop that'll be recorded and then made into a video course. But if you the advantage right now is that if you sign up for the workshop right now, one, it's cheaper. Okay, you're going to get at least a 20% discount on the price. Okay. And then 2 is you'll actually get feedback because you'll join me on the workshop. We'll talk about pitches. We'll listen to you. We'll give feedback for how you're using pitch. We'll go through, again, the 9 different patterns. We'll give you chances to repeat them and give you suggestions on what you're doing. Okay. So if you just buy the video course, you're not going to get that personalized feedback. Okay. It'll still be helpful because you'll hear the patterns, but you won't get feedback specific for yourself. Okay, so if you want to join me, I have 2 spots left for our pitch apprenticeship. Okay, you can go to fluentamerican.com. Again, look below on the ticker for the website or my name here. And again, join us. There's 2 spots left, so you'll need to register here. Again, it'll be on April 4th. You can see all different information that we're going to be discussing for the class here on Fluent American. This is just a note on that. We would love to have you and work with you on your pitches. Okay. Okay, Manuel says thanks for the feedback. Manuel's one of our people already signed up for the class. He's excited for the 4th, as am I. This is information you do not have on the channel. We talk about pitch on the channel, but not to this degree. We're going to be much more in depth. Okay, I see 2 files. Let us take a moment to see Cabal, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Okay, no
Raise your
text here.
hand if you want to hear how I met my girlfriend.
Well, that was unexpected. So I guess, because I didn't know who is Cabal. Anyone know Cabal? But anyways, I guess we've arrived at the moment, so I guess I have to get us ready for it. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, Cabal.
Hey everyone, it's Jeff.
All my troubles seem so far.
Okay, all right.
All right, we're going to try that again. Caught me off guard. I should have known it was like a minute 40, but sometimes people send us these super long files, so I was caught off guard. Anyways, let's see who is this Cabal person.
Raise your hand if you want to hear how I met my girlfriend. I see no hands being raised.
Oh.
How about this? Raise your hand if you want to hear a funny joke.
No pressure.
Okay. So there's a square. Wait, no, there's a circle and a rectangle. The rectangle, the circle looks at the rectangle and goes, "What?"
Just a quick note on rectangle. You stressed first of all, rectangle. So it's not rectangle, it's rectangle. Just a minor thing. Sorry.
The rectangle, the circle looks at the rectangle and goes, "Why are you so rectangular?" The rectangle looks back at the circle and goes, "Man, why are you so out of shape, man? Look, go to the gym and work out." Out of nowhere,
Is that a joke?
square comes and goes, hey, what's going on? Look, we have to respect each other. We're all different types of shapes. All right?
This joke can go many
all
directions.
All of a sudden, the circle feels a light tap on his shoulder and turns around. And it's a trapezoid. Goes, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" The trapezoid looks at the circle and goes, "Sup, bro?"
Sup. That's the. Is that? I don't know what else to do. Is that the joke? Did I miss it? Wait, what?
And it's a trapezoid. Goes, oh, hey, what's up, man? The trapezoid looks at the circle and goes, sup, bro?
I feel like I'm missing something. But I'm sure that was a. We need a. There you go. I don't know. Let me know what do we just listen to? All right, but thank you. That's what. Did I miss it? What I feel like I'll probably need to listen to that again. I don't. If you guys got it, let me know. I feel like I missed it. I like jokes, but it's just sometimes I don't get them. It's sad. All right. Well, we have another file. Thanks to Cabal, singer for sending that. Elchin, let's see what Elchin has.
Hey guys, it's been over 3 weeks now since I practiced my accent last time. The reason was I was extremely busy and above all, I just lost my motivation. However, I do think that I'll be back soon.
Oh, snap. What do you mean be back soon? You're already back, Elchin. You're already back. All right, let's give some thoughts to this.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Cool. Sounds fine. We don't have a thing here. Let's try again. Hey guys.
Hey guys. It's been over 3 weeks now since I practiced my accent last time.
We talked about this earlier again. Adverbs of time typically are not stressed. It's like it says last time, so you're stressing time, but stress accent. So I practiced my accent last time.
So I practiced my accent last time.
So I practiced my accent last time.
The reason was I was extremely busy and
the reason was
I was
you're stressing was
practiced my accent last time. The reason was
stress reason. The reason was verb to be typically is not stress. The reason was
last time. The reason was I was extremely busy and above all, I just
the reason was I was extremely busy.
Extremely busy and the reason was I was extremely busy and
busy. I was extremely busy. I was extremely busy.
The reason was I was extremely busy and
I was extremely busy. I was extremely busy. The reason was I was extremely busy. Busy. So you're going heavy on the E, so I'm busy.
I was extremely busy and
extremely busy. I was 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 extremely busy.
I was extremely busy and
extremely busy. I would add some more contrast in the pitch there. I was extremely busy. I was extremely busy. Either going higher on the E, or like going maybe lower on extremely. Like I was extremely busy. Like I was extremely busy. It's like going lower on the E sound, especially on extremely. I was extremely
busy and
I was extremely versus I was extremely busy. So maybe just it's a little bit lower, a notch lower on the E on extremely.
Above all, I just lost.
And
above all, I was extremely busy and above all,
you can hear there on the dark L on aw, just a little closed off there. Oh versus aw. Because just trying to add a little more breath through there on that dark L. Okay, and above all,
busy and above all, I just lost my motivation.
I just lost my motivation. And above all, I just lost my. So again, you're kind of staying at the same like pitch range.
I just lost my motivation.
And above all, I just lost my. Not a lot of contrast there, right? Versus in above all, I just lost my. So again, above all, I just lost my. Above all, I just lost my. So you can hear that what I'm doing is just kind of dropping things down more, just to add a little more contrast. Okay, and above all, I just lost my motivation.
Oh, I just lost my motivation.
I just lost my. So again, same thing with like the I just lost my part. Down, down, down. I just lost my motivation. I just lost my motivation. I just lost my motivation. So that sort of pitch pattern, we're going down, 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 and back up. I just lost my motivation. Something like that is going to help a lot as well.
Lost my motivation. However, I do think that I'll be.
However, I do think you can keep however low in pitch.
However, I do think that I'll be back soon.
I do think that I'll be back soon. I do think I'll be back soon. Again, kind of what we mentioned earlier about average time. I don't think you need to stress soon. I mean, you can, but I do think I'll be back soon.
Just lost my motivation. However, I do think that I'll be back soon.
Yeah. So maybe we just cut the stress on do. I do think I'll be back soon. Besides that, though, some good stuff here.
Hey guys, it's been over 3 weeks now.
Lots of breath there. You can hear on the hey guys. Lots of air. Great. 3 weeks now. You can hear on the now. So you're really doing a good job of keeping the air flowing. Not very blocked off.
Since I practiced my accent last time. The reason was I was extremely busy, and above all, I just lost my motivation. However, I do think that I'll be back soon.
Yeah. Also on soon, I want to hear soon again.
I do think that I'll be back soon.
Soon. It does sound to me like I think the N sound on soon is raising your placement a little bit. Like soon almost feels like we're shifting the vowel very, very slightly right before that N versus soon. Soon. So weakening the N sound and making sure we're not shifting the vowel right before it. Those would be my big suggestions. Okay. Elchin asks,
Question.
adjusting my placement and breath are okay. Yeah. I mean, I think we mentioned again the dark L sound a little bit. So like all that was a place where it kind of got restricted.
Hey guys,
a little higher.
It's been over 3 weeks now. It's been over 3 weeks now since I practiced my accent last time. The reason was I was extremely busy, and above all, I just lost my motivation. However, I do think that I'll.
However, was also another word where it kind of went up again. So I think some letters where I think sometimes the placement is going higher on, and kind of your breath is also getting a little bit more restricted on. I think at times where you're saying like a letter N, when a letter N is appearing, also a little bit R sounds. So for again, like however, things like that. So those are just some places where in your speech I'll just continue paying attention to just to make sure that that's not occurring. Okay, but thank you to Eltron for sending that file. We appreciate it. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Hope to see you more often in streams again in the future, because I know it's hard with motivation. I think it's an important discussion too. I see Zobeda's here. Hi, Zobeda. Okay. You know, if you're finding that you're losing your motivation, it could also be burnout. Something sounds like I think it's easy when you're studying something intensely for a long time. It's easy to get burned out. You know, so that's often a time too that it's a signal that our body is sending to us that we need to make some sort of change. So for instance, if you've always been studying one way, maybe it's time to study another way. You know, so for instance, maybe you've been studying a lot by using textbooks and things like that. Okay, well, maybe it's time to do something else. So for instance, maybe we need to switch to a course, or maybe we need to switch to trying to find someone to talk to regularly. You know, switch up what you're doing. And also, you know, maybe it could also be a sign that we just need a break too. It's okay to take breaks. Ideally, you want to be taking breaks before you reach that point of losing motivation. But some time away can also be helpful as well. But in general, yeah, those times where you're kind of getting burned out or you're losing motivation, that's usually a sign that it's time to switch up the tactics that you're using. Okay. Additionally, I think it's also helpful, you know, one of the reasons why I think it's great to record yourself is to, you know, save those recordings and put them away somewhere. You don't even have to listen to them. But for those times where you're feeling demotivated or discouraged, you know, listen to those older files and just kind of note the differences in your speech, you know, because for most of us watching the stream right now, we already speak English at a high level. So it becomes much more difficult to see the gains. You know, when you first start learning a language, it's great because, you know, before class, you don't know how to say, like, you don't know how to order food in a restaurant. And then after class, you know how to order food in a restaurant, you know? It's like very measurable, clear progress. But when you're at an advanced stage, those sorts of steps and those progressions can be a lot harder to take note of. So that's why trying to do things that are measurable. That's another thing too, is that sometimes we just make a general goal like I'm going to improve my accent or my pronunciation. Okay, how are we measuring this? You know what I mean? So try to make your goals into small, concrete, measurable concepts. So for instance, instead of being like, okay, I'm going to improve my pronunciation this week, be like, okay, every day for 5 minutes, I'm going to study pronunciation. You can track that, right? Because you can be like, okay, Monday, did I do it? Yes. Tuesday, did I do it? Not really. Wednesday, did I do it? Yes. Okay. And so trying to have goals that you can actually track that are measurable. These are some tips that will definitely help you in terms of your progress and movement forward. Okay. All right. But Elchin, thank you for sending that file. Okay. I do appreciate it. A couple other things I just want to take a quick look at here.
Hey, have you seen Mom? Hey guys, time to go south. What you wanna do to master the southern accent? Smash Dr. Bam. Don't be Dr. Bam. Don't be.
These are some interesting files. Okay, give me a moment and I will share my screen. Okay. I think I'm going to have to make these our last two files, guys, because I do have to run to a class soon. But for those of you who sent us your pronunciation, thank you. We always appreciate it. Okay, give me a moment and I will share my screen once more. Dun, 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 dun. Last couple files. All right, let's see what we got here.
Hey guys, time to go south. What you.
Okay. Just a quick note on guys. So again, watch out for that I sound, guys. Could be a little more breath coming through. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Guys versus guys. So also a little heavy on the G. So that's another thing too, is instead of focusing on the consonant sound, focus more on the vowel sound. So instead of the G sound, focus more on the I sound. Guys.
Time to go south. What you wanna do?
So it looks like we're gonna be doing like some southern accent things. Okay. You can kind of hear it on the word south, where we get kind of that twang. South.
To go south. What
South. Versus just south.
you wanna do to master the southern accent?
You can hear that also on do, a higher placement there. Do versus do. Okay, so again, the lower placement and things like that again would be more standard, quote unquote. Okay, that's just a note there. Also to Rosaura checking in. Good to see you, miss. Always a pleasure. And Edward saying Elchin's placement has improved. That's very nice of you to say, Edward.
To master the southern accent.
When you hear master again.
The southern accent. South. What you wanna do to master the southern accent?
What you want to do to master the southern accent? What you want to do to master southern accent? You could even like the master the southern. You could even take that lower in pitch if you wanted to add more contrast. Master the southern accent. To master southern accent.
So imagine Dr. Fail. Don't be Dr. Fail. Master the southern accent. So imagine Dr. Fail.
Imagine Dr. Phil. Imagine Dr. That's very punchy. And again, that's not necessarily wrong. If you wanted something that was a little bit smoother, you would remove some of those stresses and make them less emphatic. Imagine Dr. Phil. What you want to do is imagine Dr. Phil. Imagine Dr. Phil. I'm now just kind of smooth it out in terms of your rhythm.
The southern accent. So imagine Dr. Fail.
Because what's happening here is you're giving me every word is stressed, but you're also giving me the same pitch over and over again because they are all stressed. So everything's going high. Imagine Dr. Phil versus imagine Dr. Phil. Now I'm able to drag things down lower because I'm not having as many stressed words.
Don't be Dr. Fail. Don't.
Also on Phil.
Dr. Fail.
Fail. So again, you can hear an imitation of a southern accent. I guess I'm definitely not a southern accent expert. Again, like ale versus just l. It's like Phil would be the quote unquote more standard pronunciation. Phil. Short I plus dark L tends to be a tricky combination for people, so watch out for that. It's like Phil. Phil. If you find that to be a difficult combination, that's the progression I would use. Phil. Sides of your tongue touching your top teeth. almost like you're biting the sides of your tongue a little bit for that sound.
Don't be Dr. Phil.
Don't be Dr. Phil. Like, don't be Dr. Phil. You could go higher on don't and lower on Phil if you wanted. It's like, don't be Dr. Phil. Don't be Dr. Phil. But he's going to go higher on Phil. Don't be Dr. Phil.
Don't be Dr. Phil. Don't be him. Just imagine the way he talks.
Just imagine the way he talks.
Just imagine the way he talks.
Talks. Again, placement's a little high on talks compared to what you would hear standard. Okay, talks. Just imagine how he talks.
What's up, man?
What's up? Wasn't expecting that, idea.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up, man? Versus what's up, man? What's up, man? Thanks for sending that file. Appreciate it. Sorry, I'm definitely not an expert in Southern accents. And our last file that we're going to take a look at today.
Hey, have you seen Bob?
Hey, have you seen Bob? Intonation pattern is a little interesting there.
Hey, have you seen Bob?
Quick note on Bob. So you would expect, it feels a little closed off, not a lot of breaths to make it through. It's like Bob, Bob versus Bob, Bob. Like, have you seen Bob? Have you seen Bob? Okay. Hey, have you seen Bob? That's probably the intonation pattern I would have used. Like, have you seen Bob? Have you seen Bob? Like, if I'm generally asking, like, I don't know where Bob is and I want to know, I'd be like, hey, have you seen Bob? Hey, have you seen Bob? Versus this pattern here.
Hey, have you seen Bob?
That pattern there is much more specific and less universal. There are very specific situations where you would need to use that intonation. I can't think of a situation right now where I would use that pattern. But that's going to be much more context dependent. Whereas the more general situation would be, have you seen Bob?
Have you seen Bob? I think Bob is on the phone.
I think Bob's on the phone. It's like, I think I would go high on think, I think, and then we're going to drop Bob's on the phone. Listen to how they say phone as well.
I think Bob is on the phone.
Bob is on the, again, this is an opportunity for a contraction. And in general, I would say, hey, if you have an opportunity for a contraction, I would recommend using it in general. Instead, Bob is on the, because it's just a lot choppier and less smooth.
I think Bob is on the phone.
Bob is on the versus Bob's on the phone. It's just going to allow you to move a lot more fluidly.
I think Bob is on the phone.
Phone. So your placement is immediately shooting high on your phone. Okay. Also for your N sound, that could be the issue is that you might have a great O sound. Maybe you can say O, and keep your placement low and your breath very open. It's like I'll just practice saying that a couple times. But your N sound is causing your placement to go really high if you feel like your O sound is already low. It's like practice this progression like own, and making sure that again that placement is staying low for both of those. If you find that you're saying own, well, that's an immediate sign that your N sound is causing your placement to rise. For that N sound in general, you want to make sure you're doing like an so it's not it's trying to keep that placement low and open for the breath.
Hey, have you seen Bob?
Hey, have you seen Bob?
I think Bob is on the phone.
I think Bob's on the phone. So again, not phone, more phone. Okay, so some quick tips there. All right, guys, I do have to run and teach a class. But again, if you're looking for opportunities to study with us, not just like once a week, but trying to get some pronunciation practice every single day of the week, because I'll be honest, if you're trying to improve your pronunciation, it can't just be a 1 day a week thing. It has to be a little bit of time every day. Again, these are all the different opportunities that we have. We have our YouTube videos, which are completely free, but then we have a Telegram group where you pay $5 for a month. Okay, so one coffee for a whole month, and you get access to pronunciation practice every single day of the week. You can visit fluentamerican.com for access to that. We also have our Mission English program, which is even a greater value because you're getting at least 32 classes a month for the price of a single class. And these are the times that we use for our Mission English program. And we live stream and you join me on screen and we work on your pronunciation together. We're also adding some writing classes that are starting on April 1st. Okay, so this things to be aware of. And lastly, on the March 30th, I'm doing a live stream, our Accent Arena, where I am facing off against Marielle Accent Coaching. And together we are going to see who can learn a new pronunciation, Brazilian Portuguese, in 30 minutes. Who can sound better after just 30 minutes of pronunciation training? Guys, thank you so much for being with me. I understand that, look, when it comes to American English pronunciation, there are millions of resources out there, literally millions. So the fact that you spent some time with me on a Saturday, no less, you could be doing anything in the world, but you chose to spend some time with me here on a Saturday or whenever you're watching this in the future. I greatly do appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend or whatever it is where you guys are, and have a good day, have a good night, good afternoon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.